Welcome to the All Things Geekery podcast. I'm Detached.
Hey guys, and I'm Victus.
Well guys, this is a very special session of this podcast because it is well outside of our normal recording time, and one, we are doing it for the Blaugust Reborn event that is going on, which is hosted by our friend Blaugust. And he has invited a whole host of people that, if the option was presented to him, to come out and do a special recording of a 5 to 20 minute mini cast. And we've got a section of questions basically introducing us as the hosts and why we got into blogging and podcasting. And as we introduced ourselves, my name is Detached, and that's basically my online pseudonym that I go by. It is a gaming tag that I have had for ages, basically since my Halo 1 days. And I've just kept the name, and that's been my gamer tag as long as I can remember, and it has just carried over into my blogging days and my games. So that's what I go by, and I'm going to let Victus kind of give the little bit of background on why he is named why he is.
Hey guys, so my name is newer to the scene. I went by several up until I actually started this podcast, and I realized I needed something that identified as me. And playing with different names out there, this one really seemed to just fit. It just came out of nowhere, and it's what I run with for casting. Along with that, you may start out podcasting, and you're trying to sit there and you're held up on a name. And sometimes it's just pick one, and it's okay to change it down the road. Some streamers, some podcasters, they do that. You re-identify yourself. Maybe you shorten down the name. Maybe you completely change it. It's all about who you are and what you're comfortable with. And that's also important. Don't try to force it. Don't try to force a name because you think it sounds cool, because in 5 months it's not going to sound cool. It's going to be old. Yeah,
there's definitely an organic feel to your online personality, and that's just it. It is truly it's a piece of you. It's part of you. And just like Blaugust or Chestnut or any of our other mentors out there, I'll name drop a few like Braxwolf, and all of them have had kind of an organic growth in the social media blogging realm, and Brax is a fellow podcaster as well, and he can probably jump in there and talk to you guys as well. But from our experience on the podcasting and blogging side of things, Victus doesn't do a lot of the blogging side, but he does do a lot of the podcasting with me. And I'll say there's a lot of the same struggles on both ends when you're trying to start with the blog. When I originally started it back in 2009, 2010, ages ago, it was a struggle because you begin asking yourself all these questions. Well, why am I starting this blog? Why would people want to read what I'm writing? And you begin kind of talking yourself out of it. And that is one of the worst possible things that you could do. So my best encouragement for you guys is, trust me, people want to read what you write because people are designed to connect with one another. They really are. And just put yourself out there, take that plunge, and it doesn't matter what your blog is about. It could be about food, it could be about writing, it could be about games, and start small and watch that organic growth happen. It's happened with my blog. And I'll give you a little bit of background on that pseudonym. Detached wasn't always my pseudonym. I actually had another one for the blog for quite some time. It was actually I'll Grow Marybelly. And a lot of people are like, well, where on earth did you come up with a name like that? It was out of a novel series that I am writing. He is one of the main characters, and he was also one of my main tunes in the Lord of the Rings Online series that I played for so many years. So it's okay to kind of rebrand yourself. I went from that pseudonym over to Detached quite a few years ago, and people continued to follow, and people continued to enjoy checking out the things that I was posting. So just, feel free, and don't let the online crowd, pressure you into doing something that you don't feel is needed.
Absolutely. And even just, it applies to both blogging and podcasting, but when you're talking about any topic, first thing I would encourage you to always talk about what you're interested in, because for one, you will know the most about it, and also you will enjoy just talking about it. And that's where it all comes from, because you don't want to get burnt out about what you're talking about just because you feel people want to listen to it. And they do, but it's important to always do what you love. And with that, when, me starting out for my very first podcast, I was horrible. I really was. I tried to force things along.
I think we both were.
And I tried to force things along and kind of talk out of my comfort zone. But when it's just, you got to treat it like you're just having a conversation. Everybody has conversations, and it comes naturally. And if you get in that mindset when you're having a podcast or you're doing a blog, those are the ones that, you can see the person's passion in. When they're writing, when they're recording. And those are the ones that you keep seeing people not get burnt out on. You keep seeing them produce more and more and more. They're connecting with people. They can help other people because it's what they love. It's really hard for you to, it's harder, I should say, for you to help other people grow once you've reached your standard or a very good firm foundation under yourself. It's hard for you to help other people if you don't have a good desire for what you're writing about, what you're talking about in your content creation.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's one of the biggest things that a lot of the mentors and the bloggers have been talking about over the last probably week and a half. See, the week before Blaugust started, most of the mentors jumped in for prep week and just started throwing ideas out there for the participants and people that were going to be joining in. And a lot of the common themes was, before you start writing, just, take a little time to plan and prep out some of those passions that you like to do. And I've seen everything out there from some of the participants even of ideas that they had. And one of those was doing a daily or weekly game screenshot within one of their favorite games, and then talking about the scene of that screenshot. What did they enjoy about it? What part of the game was it in? And just kind of taking it small and growing that into a series. So your blog and podcast can literally be about whatever your passions are, and that's the best possible choice that you can do. Now, I also know that we've got a time limit on us because we don't want to sit here for an hour. So, Chestnut, this is for you. We're going to try to keep this a little bit short so that you can, send this out to everybody and enjoy it. But I also know that you've got a set of questions for us. And the first one is, what's your blog title? Now, Victus helps me co-host this podcast, and our podcast has a blog as well. It's called allthingsgeekery.com, and swing by, check it out, because it's where we keep all of our audio for our podcast. But Victus, I'll let you answer this one. Why did you get into podcasting?
So, I, along with multitude of other gamers out here, have been of the YouTube connoisseur and Twitch connoisseur, and have watch podcasting videos, whether it's somebody playing, actually showing their face and talking to the audience, or playing a game and talking about the game they're playing, or they could be talking about something else. And then there's the group like me and you, Victus, that we just talk. We just talk about stuff. In this case, exactly what we have our title as, All Things Geekery, Everything Geekery. We talk about technology. We talk about movies and games, and that's kind of how the title came along, is what we thought about, what were we going to talk about. And then from there, it was just, the name was born, and it worked really well because it created a nice, quick title for us to put on our content.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, this has been a really organic, natural kind of happening for this podcast. Now,
but I don't think I answered your question and why. It's always because I always had that desire to create content. It was always cool to watch people do that, and deep down, give that to you to kind of, you were doing the blogging, and we talked about, why don't we do a recording? Why don't we just try it? And from there, it's been great. We've grown with how we podcast, with how we talk on here. and it's grown how we think about things, and we're always thinking about what's the next topic, how are we analyzing different things that are coming out in the geekery world.
Yeah, I definitely know that there has been a ton of growth. If you listen to our original episodes, they are terrible. So please, if you go check our stuff out later this evening or whenever this episode comes out, guys, check out season 2. Don't go back and look at season 1.
So season 1 does not exist.
Now, as far as podcasting, pretty much mirrored image of what Victus just said. I have always loved content creation. I've loved just the creative aspect of podcasting, blogging, writing, game recording, Twitch streaming. That has always intrigued me. So I've just kind of fell into this naturally because it's it's a huge passion of mine, and gaming is a massive hobby of mine. So, put 2 and 2 together. As far as the blog, I'll give you a little backstory. I've been writing since I was a child. My parents have always said, pretty much was born with a pen in my hand and have been writing short stories and have always loved writing. I love reading as well. If you take a look in my house, we have basically bookshelves in every room of this house. We've got so many books, and we've got books in storage. So all of my family loves to read. My kids do as well, and they enjoy writing. It's just something that has always been a part of my life. And I started writing a novel years ago. It's a series. One of these days, I will end up finishing it. I actually have 2 of the books finished out of the series so far, and I have gotten some of it edited. And like a lot of people, there's still those fears and questions and kind of those roadblocks that I have to get over as well, of putting my stuff out there and potentially even having this book published. So there's still fears out there. And guys, I get it. When you're looking at blogs and going, man, is this something I really want to do? I totally urge you to do it because it's exciting. It's fun. It will help you overcome those fears. And, as far as me blogging, like I said, I started back in 2009 with A Hobbit's Journey. It has naturally, kind of organically morphed as well into a gaming and nerd news blog. I spend a lot of time talking about the process of writing, tips and tricks, things that I've learned over the years. One of the big things that I enjoyed writing about is lore. If you guys spend any time with me, I will nerd out on you with some lore. Just talk to Victus. I will drone on for hours about lore.
Just don't get him started on Lord of the
Rings.
Rings.
You said Lord of the Rings, so I actually have a series on my website that is Middle Earth lore. And Brax Wolf, this is for you, man. We actually did a series with Andang. I don't know if you guys have ever watched him before, but there was a series called Middle Earth Lore. We got to do some of that together. I was actually one of the participants in script writing for that thing. So, you can basically blog about whatever you guys want. And I promise you, there is a community out there that will back you and they will get behind you. So that's about how long I've been blogging. This event, I signed up and basically came on as a mentor for the event. And that pretty much puts Victus in that same category because, well, he's my co-host, so.
Guilty by association.
Yeah, definitely guilty by association. Now, one of the questions that Chestnut has on here is, why did I sign up as a mentor for Blaugust? Well, that's a kind of a two-sided question. One, mainly because I love this community, and all of the issues and troubles and roadblocks and things that I have gone through, people have come along beside me and shown me tips and tricks and how to work through those problems. And I want to give back to the community because I think it would be selfish for somebody to overcome those fears and enjoy blogging so much, but yet not give back into the community. So that's one reason. Number two, most of my background for any of my schooling was always in creative writing, and I love teaching. So that's basically my whole reasoning is I love teaching, I love giving back to the community, and I love writing. So it just seemed like a natural fit to come in and help answer questions and give the best advice and feedback that I could. So, Victus, I'm going to let you kind of jump in for the podcasting as well. Basically, the mentoring side of podcasting.
So yeah, from growing up, from where we started at podcasting to where we're at now, we have a good understanding of how the podcast world works, what you need to do to become a successful podcaster. Even though we're not big by any chance, we know the mistakes we made in the beginning, and we're sure that there's a common mistake across everybody that does podcasts, and would being able to share that with other people so they can learn and grow even faster than what we did is why I would look to be a mentor to other people.
Now, as far as the rest of our questions that we've basically lined out here, we've got 2 last questions, and then we're going to have to wrap this up for Chestnut so that we don't go over our time cap. But the second question here is, what do you hope to get out of Blaugust? And this is my response to everybody: is connection and new friends. That is the biggest thing that I can say I want to get out of Blaugust, is spending time with the community and getting back into to know you guys more. What are your passions? What do you like to write about? What games are you guys playing? Remember, this is not a solo event right here. You can talk to Bell, you can talk to Blaugust, you can talk to any of the big YouTubers, streamers, bloggers out there. They did not start this thing just for themselves. They started this because they love community. They really do. And you can look at anybody within basically Bell's community. You can look at people within Chestnut's community. You can look inside of Blaugust right now, inside the Discord server, and there are people connecting on a personal level. And that's what's attractive to this community, and basically why what I hope to get out of Blaugust is a deeper community and connecting with people.
Absolutely. And that really delves down to what we really strive for in just content creation as a whole, whether you're a Twitch streamer, whether you're YouTube, a blogger, a podcaster. I mean, it's all about you connecting with your audience, with other content creators, and growing as a community.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last question we have is, what is one piece of advice that we would give back to the blogging community and the podcasting community? I'm going to take the blogging piece of it, and I'm going to let Victus handle the podcasting portion of it. So my advice to you guys, whether you are new to the blogging scene or you have been a veteran and maybe you got burnout and you've got a little bit of spark coming back in and you're ready to jump back into this thing, here is my best advice for you. This is something that was told to me years ago, is don't let blogging be what squashes your passion for writing. And I think here's the twofold piece to that, is blogging is a scary thing at times because you're putting yourself out there for the world to see. We are in a digital age. And when you hit submit, Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all the RSS feeds that are spawning that feed all throughout the world, now your stuff is out there for people to see. Don't let that squash your passion for writing. And if you have been in the blogging realm for a while and you're a veteran and maybe you got burnout because your schedule was so heavy of writing that you felt like you couldn't meet it and you needed a break, by all means take that break. This is, it's a hobby. Some people do this for a living, some people do it for a hobby, but if you guys have that spark for writing and you have a passion for touching other people's lives in a way that maybe they don't know how, or they can't because maybe they don't know how to write, they're not good at it, but they love to read, by all means jump in and enjoy. Have fun with it. That's my best advice I can give you for blogging.
Excellent. And it applies right to podcasting and really content creation. They all have the exact same devices. Take time, do what you love. Don't try to do what you think will make you popular, because you will get burnt out fast. You will lose that passion for it, and it will turn you away from what you really want to do. Do what you're passionate about. Connect with people. Even if it's just one person, you see that one comment pop up on your blog, engage with that person. And then other people see that you're engaging, so they'll start commenting, and it grows you as a content creator and grows you as a person. Just you taking those little steps. And really, it's just, just start. First time, guarantee it's going to be horrible. ours was horrible, is horrible, but we grew from it. We grew from it, and we fixed the mistakes of them. We knew how to record better. We knew how to talk better on here, and even just writing things down better because of all this, and connect with people even better.
Yeah, absolutely. And right back to your point of it's about connection. So you guys have to find what makes you happy, and you guys have to find what you really enjoy. But that is basically why we hopped into Blaugust this year. I'm doing it for multiple reasons. Victus is hopping in for the podcast portion of this as well. And you guys got to learn a little bit about us tonight. We would love to hear from you. This is going to be out on my blog, which is ahobbitsjourney.com. It's also going to be out on our podcast website, which is allthingsgeekery.com as well. We would love for you guys to stop by, check us out. You can find myself out on Twitter a bunch. That's Detached Gaming. And Victus is out on social media too, so make sure you swing by and give him a hard time. I'm going to let him talk about that though.
Yeah. Not quite as retweet happy as Detached, but definitely out there on the Twitter world. So give me, hit me up, chat, whatever, talk about stuff and geekery. Be glad to talk with you. And
just one last little thought here before we go is you guys really truly are amazing for stepping into this event. I just want to give that encouragement back to you for stepping out, being courageous, and taking that step and posting your stuff out there. You guys are doing some pretty awesome write-ups, and I just give you a high five. Keep it up. You guys rock.